Recorded from an undisclosed location on a Braves off day, this is the Wrestling Before the Weekend update with your host, Matt Sex Sells. Welcome to this week's edition of Wrestling Before the Weekend update. I'm, of course, your host, the Boozerweight, Matt Sex Sells. All right, let's get to this week's headlines. So AEW presented Double or Nothing this past weekend. Lots of marquee matchups on that card, including Anarchy in the Arena, which saw the match start off with a personal favorite song of mine, Drowning Pool's Bodies. Let the bodies hit the floor. Yeah, I think that's all we can play of that song without getting my social media flagged for copyright infringement. Yeah, been there, done that. In unrelated news, the main event of that pay-per-view was the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. Yeah. Okay, so that's messed up enough. You know, you play bodies on the same show that you have the Owen Hart Cup. You also play bodies the day before Memorial Day in the U.S. So I'm just really holding out hope that this Father's Day, AEW will present the Chris Benoit Cup. Okay, moving forward with this nice, tasteful show. Jacob Fatu continues to impress in all his WWE matchups. His latest piece of merch, his latest shirt at WWE Shop says, "All gas, no brakes." And I do believe that design was originally meant for Ultimate Warrior years ago, though it actually initially said, "All gas, no brains." So congrats to the new TNA World Champion Trick Williams. It's interesting times in wrestling. It's really fun to be a wrestling fan and watch things now because like you have a WWE contracted wrestler holding the TNA World Championship. That's amazing and unprecedented at times. And you have to congratulate Joe Henry on his run as TNA World Champion. Tons of WWE appearances that during that time, like including even wrestling against Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Lots of opinions on that appearance, which brings me to this week's. It's just my opinion, but I'm right. I'm fine as a wrestler with wrestling fans using insider terminology. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. And you can even be critical of the product and even critical of different promotions and companies. That's fine. Hell, you can see me sitting at Atlanta Braves games, sitting there mumbling fucking Braves, even though I wasn't exactly, Acuna-esque in my baseball playing days. But if you're gonna use insider terminology, like at least use it correctly. Just because your favorite wrestler, lost, they didn't go over in their match, doesn't mean that he's being buried. A 10-minute match where somebody gets in a decent amount of offense, that is not a squash match. If you want to see an actual squash match, I'm sure you can search Matt Sells on Ring of Honor Honor Club. Okay, I mentioned the Ring of Honor service. Maybe I'll get residuals? No. At least maybe give me a login and I can watch some stuff? No, probably not. Okay. Like, I'm not a fan of calling fans who spend their hard earned money to see me and other wrestlers perform. I don't want to call them marks. But when you misuse terminology like that, that sometimes seems like an appropriate term. It's just my opinion, but I'm right. That's it for the news this week. If you want to catch me live, you can see me May 30th in Beaufort, Georgia for Disruptor Pro, May 31st for Renegade Championship Wrestling in Chatsworth, Georgia. You can hear me say more funny stuff like this as color commentator for Southern Fried Championship Wrestling on June 7th in Monroe, Georgia. I'll be in action for Action Wrestling in Tyrone, Georgia on June 13th. And finally, I'll be back at Deep South Wrestling in Matlanta, Georgia on June 21st. Until next time, I'm here with beer. Get used to it.